What's up, guys? Welcome to Bible Meets Life Stories. And so I'm pretty excited because Christmas is in the air, and today I'm going to share with you a new story on championing diversity through serving. You know, now more than ever, we need to bridge the gap to support diversity through the lens of Christ and through serving. You know, by doing so, it helps us to engage more effectively with our community, both in the physical space and the digital space, to help us grow outside ourselves and to think more diversely minded toward all communities and society. So guys, let's just kick it off, all right? And I hope you're doing well, by the way. So, you know, diversity, what does it mean? Well, by definition, diversity is a system of beliefs, behaviors that recognizes and respects the presence of all diverse groups in a single society. You know, it acknowledges and values their cultural differences and encourages their continued contribution within that culture or that society. You know, also it shapes our identity and it influences our behavior. You know, essentially, it's who we are, right? The lens we use to evaluate everything around us. We evaluate what is proper, what is improper, what is normal, what is abnormal through our culture. You see, people naturally use their own culture as a standard to judge other cultures. However, passing judgment could lead us to discriminate against all others who are different. And really, what is it? We're all different, right? Yeah. You know, essentially, we tend to fear what we don't understand. And I've heard that time and time again. You know, but we cannot choose to reject anyone just because we don't respect what they believe in, what we say that what is different, or, you know, what is different about their space that may be, you know, not the same in our space. I'll tell you, the real issue is today, we have seen so many people campaigning on real issues that fall under diversity. You know, it's been broadcasted all over social media. People are really hurting, and they're stepping up to voice their opinions and positions. The real issue is that we have a divided community that needs healing. And how do we do that? I believe we do that through serving. The truth is, as we watch these social issues push us farther and farther apart, we wonder, how do we create unity within this deeply divided space that we call community? Well, we can't do it ourselves. That's the truth. You know, we definitely need a better leadership. The fact is that our individualistic society has us suffering. Physically, emotionally, we measure our own self-worth through, the money we make, the society or circles that we belong to, the color of our skin, you know, what we wear, even our gender. Yeah, definitely. Even sometimes our gender. You know, if you feel like you're exhausted or struggling to prove yourself, I tell you, you are not alone. Absolutely. I mean, I'm in that same boat, and probably every person in your circle is probably in that same boat. We are so often dragged along in the darkness. It does. I mean, sometimes I feel so isolated. You know, I'm like, gosh, is it just me? How many people say that? How many of you say that on a daily basis? You know, we find that we're unable to save ourselves from our thoughts, from the shame of our mistakes. You know, we try to like slap self-esteem tactics on our fears, but they don't stick because, well, it's true. We can't do it ourselves. And the truth is, we can't. But I'll tell you the good news, there is somebody that can. Somebody that can lead us to a fulfilled life of purpose. And that is Jesus. That's right, Jesus Christ. You know, 'tis the season, and that's what we're doing this season, is we're celebrating the birth of Christ. And, you know, following him can save us from a life of trivial pursuits, from a life, you know, lived in vain, from a life that, prevents us from judging others for their differences or what we deem that is different, right? It's just like 1 Samuel 16:7 says, "The Lord said, do not look on his appearance or the height of his stature, for the Lord sees a man sees. Man looks on an outward appearance, but the Lord looks at his heart." That's right, the Lord looks at his heart. And that's truly the message of Christ. He was always pursuing a person's heart rather than a person's position. Heart over position. And that is the really essence of serving. And there's one of the clearest Bible verses that there is to prove that God looks at the heart and not at the color of a person's skin, the way they dress, their position of society or appointment. It matters not to God, because he is only interested in what the heart is. Whose example do we follow? We learn from Jesus. True. Jesus lived with deep security in his own identity. He lived content, independent, with nothing to prove, and with a clear goal to display his Father's love toward every person he encountered. He challenged the norms of society. And the challenge is not merely seeing the truth of Jesus, but it's actually following it. That's right, it's a lifestyle. The solution: let's respond to our broken community by allowing Jesus to, 1, save us from a culture of violence in which we judge and persecute people of a certain skin tone or ethnicity. Encourage us to work for all people who are left behind today. That's minorities, that's women, poor, in all spaces. Let's also heal our divided community by serving those in need rather than being served. And then also, let's encourage us to step outside our comfort zone, our circles, right? To understand the differences within our community. Meaningful relationships may never develop due to a lack of understanding. Guys, I encourage you guys to just do that. Live that out. Play that out. 'Tis the season. It's our time to really serve rather than be served. So guys, that's all we have today on Bible Meets Life Stories. Have an awesome weekend and an awesome week, and I encourage you to just model the life of Christ. All right, we'll see you next time. Bible Meets Life. Take care.